When doctors talk about fighting cancer, they mention chemotherapy, radiation, surgery, medication. But survivors talk about something else, something softer, something quieter, something that doesn't come in a prescription bottle. Self-love, not the Instagram kind, not the cliche quotes or pretty affirmations, but the deeper, rawer kind, the kind that shows up when your hair is falling out, when your body is fragile, when your spirit feels empty and whispers, "Stay, don't give up on yourself." Today, you're about to hear why self-love becomes the strongest medicine when the body is breaking, and how it has helped thousands of people heal faster, fight harder, and live longer, not because it replaces treatment, but because it empowers the one person who must survive it. You. Cancer treatment changes everything. Your routines, your confidence, your body, your emotions, all of it gets stripped down until you're left standing in front of a mirror, staring at a version of yourself you barely recognize. Doctors treat the disease, but self-love treats the person living through it. And that difference? It matters more than anyone realizes. The day everything changes. For most people, the beginning of the journey isn't the first chemo session. It's the moment the doctor says, "We found something concerning." Your mind goes blank. Your world shrinks into that small room. Time slows. Your heartbeat gets louder. You're suddenly living in a nightmare you weren't prepared for. Fear rushes in. Panic follows. Your mind spirals into worst-case scenarios. In that moment, the last thing you think about is self-love. You're thinking about survival. But as the days pass, as reality sets in, survivors eventually learn something powerful. Cancer attacks the body. Self-hate attacks everything else. And you cannot fight both at the same time. Why self-love becomes medicine. Self-love during cancer treatment isn't about being soft. It's not about smiling through the pain or pretending to be strong. It's about giving yourself permission to break, cry, rest, be afraid, be messy, be human. It's about understanding that you're fighting something enormous, and you deserve kindness from the one person who matters most, yourself. Self-love becomes medicine because it reduces stress, one of fear's biggest weapons, improves emotional strength during treatment, helps patients stick to their routines even when they feel overwhelmed, improves recovery rates by protecting mental health, strengthens the will to keep going when treatment is brutal. Self-love isn't a luxury during cancer. It's survival. The woman who apologized to herself. Sarah was 35 when she was diagnosed with lymphoma. She had always lived her life, taking care of everyone else, her kids, her parents, her coworkers. She was the strong one, the responsible one, the one who never asked for help. But cancer didn't ask for her permission. The first chemo cycle hit her harder than she ever imagined. She was exhausted, nauseous, and emotionally drained. Instead of being compassionate to herself, she did what so many people do. She blamed herself. Why can't I be stronger? Why am I breaking down? Why can't I handle this better? What's wrong with me? Until one night, while brushing her teeth, she caught herself in the mirror and realized something that brought her to tears. She had been cruel to herself at a time she needed love the most. She sat on the bathroom floor and whispered something she had never said to herself before. "I'm sorry for not being kinder to you." That night changed everything. She stopped forcing herself to be strong for others. She let people help her. She allowed herself to rest without guilt. She fed her body because it deserved nourishment. She spoke gently to herself when she felt scared. She hugged herself when the loneliness crept in. Her treatment didn't magically become easier, but her heart did. And her doctors noticed she was recovering better mentally and physically because she wasn't fighting herself anymore. The silent war inside the mind. Cancer creates a storm of emotions. Fear of dying, fear of losing identity, fear of burdening others, fear of disappearing, fear of being forgotten. But here's the truth no one talks about. Your mind becomes a battlefield long before chemotherapy begins. Self-love is the shield. Self-hate is the enemy. And most patients don't realize how often they attack themselves without meaning to. They feel guilty for being sick, guilty for needing help, guilty for not being positive all the time, guilty for not being strong enough. But cancer is not a moral failure. It's not a personality flaw. It's not something you caused, deserved, or invited. Self-love gives survivors permission to stop blaming themselves for something they never had control over. The man who lost his hair and found himself. David was a 1-year-old athlete. Strong, fit, the kind of guy who loved gym selfies and weekend hikes. When cancer treatment began, the first sign of change wasn't fatigue, it was his hair falling out. He described it as watching pieces of my identity fall onto the floor. One morning, while shaving the rest of his hair, he broke down. The mirror reflected a version of himself he didn't recognize. Pale skin, tired eyes, no eyebrows, no strength. He whispered, "I don't even know who I am anymore." For weeks, he avoided looking at himself. He hid under hoodies. He refused to take photos. He felt disconnected from his own body. But one day, his daughter placed a note on his pillow. It said, "Daddy, you look like a superhero without a disguise." Something shifted. He started standing in front of the mirror again, not to criticize, not to mourn the old him, but to meet the new him. He decided to treat himself like he would treat his best friend. With understanding, compassion, and humor, he started saying things like, "This body is fighting for me. This version of me is strong in a new way. This isn't the end of who I am, it's a transformation." He began taking photos again, not to admire the way he looked, but to appreciate the man who refused to give up. For the first time, he wasn't loving his body for how it appeared. He was loving it for how hard it fought. That was self-love, and it became the fuel he needed to finish treatment. The days when self-love is the only thing left. There are days during cancer treatment when nothing works. Food tastes like metal. Your bones feel heavy. Your emotions go numb. Your sleep is broken. Your patience disappears. Your optimism collapses. You don't feel strong. You don't feel brave. You don't feel hopeful. You just feel tired. And on those days, self-love isn't some magical solution. It's the simple act of staying gentle with yourself when everything hurts. Sometimes self-love means letting yourself cry without shame, letting someone else cook for you, canceling plans guilt-free, allowing fear to exist without letting it define you, resting without apology, admitting you're exhausted, saying, "I need help," saying, "I'm scared," saying, "I matter." Self-love isn't about pretending everything is okay. It's about surviving the days when nothing is. Story 2. The mother who learned to let herself be loved. Emily was the kind of mother who did everything for everyone, always giving, never receiving. She believed her value came from being useful. When she was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, she kept saying, "I don't want to be a burden." Even during treatment, she cooked, cleaned, took care of her kids, and pushed away anyone who tried to help. She believed asking for support meant weakness, until one afternoon, she fainted while trying to unload groceries. Her teenage son rushed to her side and said something that broke her. "Mom, you don't have to be strong for us. Let us be strong for you." That sentence cracked open something she had buried for years. She realized she had spent her whole life loving others, but had never learned to love herself. She believed she deserved support only if she was perfect, useful, strong, but cancer doesn't care about perfection. She finally allowed her family to take care of her. She let her daughter brush her hair. She let her husband cook meals. She let friends clean the house. She let people love her even when she felt vulnerable. And what she discovered was profound. Self-love isn't just giving yourself love. It's allowing others to love you too. Her mental health improved. Her emotional fatigue lightened. Her body responded better to treatment because her spirit wasn't carrying the full weight alone. Sometimes self-love is simply surrendering the belief that you must do everything alone. Self-love during cancer is not what you think. Most people misunderstand self-love. It's not telling yourself you're strong when you feel weak, pretending to be positive all the time, ignoring your pain, forcing happiness, smiling through trauma. Real self-love looks like, "I'm terrified, but I'm trying. I'm exhausted, so I'm resting. I'm hurting, but I'm still here. I'm changing, but I'm still worthy. I'm not okay, and that's okay." Self-love is honest, messy, real, human. It's not a performance. It's permission. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be scared. Permission to be compassionate toward yourself in a way no one else can. The moment every survivor remembers. Almost every survivor recalls a moment when self-love changed everything. The moment they stopped blaming themselves. The moment they looked in the mirror without hatred. The moment they chose rest instead of guilt. The moment they accepted help without shame. The moment they forgave their body for being sick. The moment they realized they were worthy of living. These moments don't come at the beginning. They come in the middle. When the battle is hardest, when the days feel darkest, when the strength feels smallest. And yet, this is where the real healing begins. Cancer treatment pushes the body to its limits, but self-love pulls the spirit back from the edge. This journey isn't just about survival. It's about transformation. It's about learning to treat yourself with the same tenderness you give to others. It's about discovering that your worth doesn't shrink when your body weakens. It's about realizing that even on your darkest days, you deserve compassion. Self-love is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is not selfish. Self-love is medicine. Medicine for the heart. Medicine for the mind. Medicine for the parts of you that chemo can't reach. If you or someone you love is fighting this battle right now, remember, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fearless. You don't have to be strong all the time. You just have to love yourself enough to keep going. Because when everything else fades, hair, appetite, energy, confidence, the love you give yourself becomes the one thing cancer can never take. And sometimes, that love is the strongest medicine of all.